I'm Robin Roberts in New York. Musician and actor Jussie Smollett sat down with me for his first interview since that night in Chicago.
In one of the all-time greatest embarrassments for Disney and ABC News, they covered a story seriously without a whole lot of investigation or even thought that changed the world, or at least the United States, for a few weeks. Back in 2019, the hate crime hoaxer named Jussie Smollett told everybody a story that was so far-fetched, police had difficulty believing it. And over the course of the next few weeks and months, we all got to find out just what lengths some narcissistic psychopaths will go to, one, secure a raise, and two, try to elevate their status using every single privilege class that they possess. Worse yet, the hate crime hoaxer is back. So, let's talk about it. Here we go! For those of you who have forgotten, or maybe somehow are not familiar with the story, Jussie Smollett was actually part of a show called Empire, a going concern that had some high-quality actors and some dramatic scenes that kind of pushed everything forward. It was going pretty well, I think 4 or 5 seasons, before it got completely blown up. Not literally, of course, but by the fact that this actor named Jussie Smollett committed a hate crime hoax. If you don't remember, the network that jumped on top of this incredibly divisive story was none other than ABC. And of course, they took somebody out of their privileged closet and put Robin Roberts out there to talk about it in what Robin would describe as an embarrassing moment in her career, or at least I'm paraphrasing. She described covering this in all seriousness, despite this fact that it stunk to high heaven. On the morning of January 29th in 2019, Jussie Smollett approached the Chicago Police Department and falsely reported a hate crime that he staged himself earlier that same morning. He planned the hate crime with 2 brothers named Abimbola and Alabinjo Asundiaro. I'm sorry if I butchered those names, I apologize. But he'd worked with them as they were extras on the set of a television drama called Empire, which I just described. During the staged attack, which took place on the East Lower North Water Street in Chicago, the disguised brothers shouted racial and homophobic slurs, while one poured bleach on Smollett and the other placed a noose of some fashion around his neck. In addition to falsely reporting that he'd been attacked by 2 unknown individuals, Smollett described one of them as a white male. A hate crime in the making. Now, we can go over all of this, you probably know it all yourself, but worse now is not only did he somehow get excused from these crimes after he'd been set to take care of all of the things that he did, despite the fact that a corrupt person, I believe named Kim Fox, was trying to set him free and give him advantages for one of his privileges. And since we're going to use the Marxist names, I'll just say she's very corrupt socialist in Chicago.
Cook County's former top prosecutor has lost her law license.
Basically all the government in Chicago. And her corruption was so egregious, she, was under criminal investigation for a long period of time.
This announcement today recognizes that Empire actor Jussie Smollett took advantage of the pain and anger of racism to promote his career.
Apparently, when you are this egregiously terrible of a person and make a lot of claims in some interview pieces that I may be interspersing in this video, you still get Hollywood to hire you back. And as Jussie Smollett was sentenced to serve 150 days in jail for lying about an attack on him, he eventually skated on the charges after he'd already had time served. Some very strange things. He was very much found guilty of faking a hate crime against himself, and that should be something that follows him around to all of his jobs and not put him in a place of privilege. And yet, again, it has. Jussie Smollett returns to Fox as part of Special Forces cast. Why? Well, he's joining an Olympic gold medalist Shawn Johnson East and Real Housewife Teresa Giudice and Sister Wives star Cody Brown for what is described as a competitive series. Fortunately, and I can say this with a lot of congratulatory praise for a Hollywood Reporter, they reported on this particular aspect of the story more than 6 years after leaving Fox's empire amid the uproar over allegedly staged attack, which we all knew to be true. It's on the record. Jussie Smollett is returning to the network. Smollett will be part of the network's competition show, Special Forces World's Toughest Test, in the fall. The actor and singer is one of 18 celebrities taking on a series of challenges that mirror those of military special forces training, being given an opportunity that, well, should be reserved for people who haven't committed a fake hate crime. The season's other contestants, and there are many here listed, are now going to be soiled with this same disaster that this man walks around in all the time. His family, I imagine, is still terribly embarrassed, having been at the center of an act that was designed to divide us further and cast a pall over the previous administration, now current administration of Donald J. Trump. Smollett starred in Fox's music industry drama Empire for 5 seasons from 2015 to 2019, where he found himself getting canned for good reason.
I want that video found so badly because for probably 4 reasons. Number 1, I want them to find the people that did it. Number 2, I want them to stop being able to say alleged attack. Number 3, I want them to see that I fought back. And I want a little gay boy who might watch this to see that I fought back.
He claimed he had been attacked in Chicago, where Empire filmed, by 2 black men who shouted homophobic slurs. The 2 men then said Smollett paid them to stage the attack and proved it, as a matter of fact, and Smollett was charged with filing false police report. The charges were later dropped after Smollett paid a fine and was taken care of by the corrupt attorney at the time and did some community service. His character was written out of Empire's final season, though he remained under contract with the series. In 2020, however, he was re-indicted by a special prosecutor who, kind of found that this was not handled properly, and convicted of 5 counts of felony disorderly conduct for filing those false police reports in 2021. He served 6 days in jail before being released by the corrupt Illinois Supreme Court, overturning the conviction in 2024 eventually when they thought everybody would forget about it, ruling that the second set of charges violated Smollett's due process rights. Well, he'd never been properly served due process because of the corruption in Illinois, but that's where we're at. In my opinion, justice has never been served in this case. It left the door wide open for other people to do this and get essentially a slap on the wrist like Smollett got.
You do such a disservice when you lie about things like this.
Not only is that disgusting, Hollywood opens their doors wide to an activist who really is just there to tear down civil society. At least that's what it still looks like to me. I'm curious if it looks like that to you. Do you think that somebody like Jussie Smollett should get a second chance in this environment, in this land of pretend? Should he be scrutinized for each and every action he takes, not only on the set, but off? Will the mass media hold this man accountable, or at least scrutinize him a little bit and remind everybody how compromised his human character is? Or am I being too harsh? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. And as always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya. Hopefully with a better, happier story.